Oh, g'day everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hello, daughter. How are you? Love you too, sweetie. Doing the dishes. Geez, you can come around here and do our dishes for us if you want. You can pop around here and do our dishes. Sounds good. Okay. So we're going to do some on-air company manager stuff today, which will be pretty cool. Just doing some cargo flights or passenger flights, depending on what we find. Flying our little Cessna 172 around. So we've got an 8.39 knot wind at 351. I should really write that down, shouldn't I? Need to get my board happening. I've got a little whiteboard here that I use when I'm flying. So we'll get that organised. There we go. EGBP. EGBP. Might go into chatting. You can see I've got a little whiteboard here that I use, so that I can do my flight plans. 8.39 at 351. Lovely. Lovely. Alright, so I'm just going to get straight into it here. Yeah, you have no dishwasher. You're the dishwasher, sweetie. You're the dishwasher. Alright, let's bring this up. Okay, this is our company here. As you can see, our aircraft that we purchased, we have it is at EGBP at the moment. Now, I just did a flight for tomorrow's YouTube video that ended us up there, so that is where we are. We are flying a Skyhawk November 7681 Bravo. As you can see, the registration there. So what we're going to do is we're going to find jobs at the current airport and see where we can see what jobs we can pick up, what type of money we can make, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go into the gameplay there so that everybody can see what's going on. All right, so we have what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goods transport jobs. We are not licensed to do medical or dangerous material yet. So let's see where these are. That's a very little hop over to EGVA, which is a very, very small flight. This one's going to EGDL. That's going to EGDL as well. So there's 200 and something. Yeah, okay. EGVA again and EGDL. All right, so what's that? That's 23. We can take that. We can also, anything going to EGDL we can take, so we're going to take that one as well. We've got plenty of cargo capacity in here, so we should be okay. EGDL as well, we will take that as well. Lovely, and I think that's about it. Yes, it is. There's not many jobs there, but that's all right. That's fine. So we've got in our pending jobs there. We have these 3 jobs here. They are all going to EGDL. So we'll just double check that and make sure that that is the case. EGDL, EGDL, and EGDL. So there's like 7, maybe $800 worth there for a very, very short hop. So that should be okay. All right, so what we will do now is we will go into back into the aircraft, and we will go and set our aircraft up now. So lovely coffee. All right, beautiful. So we've got 72% fuel in. When we got this aircraft, it was fully fueled, so I haven't had to do any fueling on it or anything like that. So there's no point in us fueling up at the Kemble FBO. So we should be fine, although $4.24 a gallon isn't too bad. So what we need to do is load the aircraft up. I'm just going to go back into Flight Sim for a sec. We'll close those off, which are our notifications for the jobs that we've got. We'll go into ready to fly so that we're sitting in a cold, dark cockpit, as you can see. Cold and dark, ready for startup, and we will head back into here now. And we will load those up. So we will confirm and go and fly. Payload 472 pounds, plus 190 pounds from me. So that's we're well within limits there. Total payload, including me, is 713 pounds. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to work the company up and work up our finances in my next YouTube video, not the one coming out tomorrow, but the one after that. Then I will be hiring another employee and purchasing another aircraft. I'm looking at the possibility of buying a Cessna Caravan, which has a bigger pay capacity. So let's confirm that and go and fly now. It will connect to the simulator. Well, it's already connected to the simulator, but it will set everything up. They are currently loading all of that cargo that we selected, which is these 3 lots of cargo. So you can see that they are doing that. We are flying to... where are we flying to? Let's let them load that up. EGDL. EGDL, which is Mod Linum, which is okay. I'm going to put that on my little board here. G'day, Patchy. How you doing, mate? Sorry to hear you having those problems, buddy. I would probably try re-exporting your video from the video software, just in case it had a glitch at the end or something that YouTube is having a bit of trouble with. So I would probably try doing that, my friend. See if that works. Language, yeah, I know, I can understand that. All right, so we are ready to go. Our cargo is fully loaded. Ground services have done what they need to do. There was no refueling that was needed. 165 degrees. So let's go to flight tracking page. Hopefully none of this crashes out on me. There we go, not responding. So I'm a little bit concerned because it's got to be connected to the server all the time. So let's see what happens. It's exporting now. Cool. Excellent. Been waiting for you to upload your first video. Come on, don't bum out on me, software. Cannot reach OnAir server. So there we go. Now we go back into it. I seem to suffer these problems a little bit on this company manager, but can't really do anything about it. If it continues on, then I shall request a bit of a refund, I think. So see how we go. Okay, so we are in flight tracking now. No, still hasn't connected. All right, let's see if we can work this stuff out. It's a pain in the bum when that happens, isn't it, Patch? Especially when it's for your first resume your flight. It's not bringing up any information at all. As you can see, it's not even picking up our aircraft. So, all right, let's just go back to the global settings. Let's go back to the lobby, and we'll try that again and see how it goes. I do tend to have a bit of a problem with this software. So, let's go back into the persistent world. Yeah, so this software it continually stays in contact with Flight Sim and with their own servers and stuff like that. So let's go into our aircraft, which is right there. It says position, flying, status, in operation, taxi. Well, it's not in operation or taxi at the moment. So hopefully when it goes into here, it will actually bring up to start tracking. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, now it's showing where the aircraft is. All right, sweet. Beautiful. All right, so we are ready to start tracking this flight now. On this software, you do have to make sure that you follow the procedures that they like you to follow, which are real world procedures, except for they have this thing about the beacon and the strobe light. So they like to penalise you if you don't have your strobe light on when you start the engine up, which aircraft don't have. So. All right, so you can see we're tracking our flight now. We'll just move this up here and go back into here. Sweet. All right, we'll get this ready for startup. Park brake is on. Aircraft is trimmed for takeoff, as you can see there. Mixture is rich. We'll put on the beacon and the strobe. Now, normally when I was flying, I was taught just to put the beacon on. So I don't know why this one, why they like to have the strobe on. And then when you get to the destination, if you flick the strobe off, or if you leave the beacon and the strobe on, which it requires you to do, then it penalises you. So you've got to turn them off, and it classes turning them off as leaving them on. So. All right, we will do the master battery and the master alt. A bit of fuel pump.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
All right, we will give that a prime. Turn the fuel pump off. Temperature outside is 17 degrees Celsius, so we don't need to worry about that. And we will fire this beast up. There you go. We'll just give it a little bit of throttle. Now we are parked on a grass parking area here, so I don't know why, considering that all the tarmac stuff is taken up. All right, avionics on. Panel lights up just a little bit. We'll let that sit there and warm up. How are we doing? Yeah, we're doing all right. Stuff is moving up into the green, which is fine. So how is everybody tonight? Good? Good, I hope. We are now going to set up our flight plan. So at the moment, all we're going to do from here is we are going to go direct to EGDL. So come on. Direct to operate for me, operate for me. Okay, let's just go into the flight plan then. Right, I've been using this all day and it's been working perfectly fine, so and now it doesn't want to work. How's that? Yeah, it's a nice little aircraft, this Cessna 172. It's beautiful. So we are supposed to be able to key our flight. There we go. We're working now. That's a bit better. For some reason it just didn't want to work, so I'm just going to type in the airport that we are going to fly to, or its code, which is EGDL. I'll throw that in here. EG D. I miss the sim too. Believe me, I'm thinking of building another one, but I have to boot Hokey Pokey out of the house first. Linum, that's where we are going, so let's enter that and activate that. That should come up on the flight plan in a sec. There we go. So it's a very short flight, very short. It's not too bad. All right, the other thing that we will do is we will well, we don't need to worry about that at the moment. Let's change our CDI to GPS so that this will keep us in line with our GPS track. Let's add wind, our wind up there, so we will do that. We will also do ADF DME. No, we won't do that. We will do alright, cool. So it's got our VR and everything set up already based on the loadout of our aircraft. G'day Mikey, how you going, mate? Welcome. Just setting the aircraft up for a bit of a fly. Here we go. HSI format 360 is fine. We'll bring that up to GPS data so that we can see we are only we're doing a very short hop, 10 nautical miles, and we're going to get almost $800 for it. So how are you, Mikey? Let's move that back. We will put our transponder onto alt, and we will ident. Lovely. Wind 352 at 3 knots. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. Thought I might do a little bit of flying tonight, a little bit of chilling, because other than taking off and landing, then once I get in the air, then there's not really that much to do. So, although this first flight is not going to be a very long one, so there's probably going to be a little bit to do on that. All right, let's move back to there. Okay, lovely. Aircraft is warming up. I'll lean the mixture now. Leaning the mixture means that it keeps the aircraft cooler. So the richer the mixture, the hotter the aircraft gets. So you've got to be careful of that on the ground when you're taxiing and after you've warmed up. Lovely. All right, sweet. So flying real world weather here, which is pretty cool. If we just jump back into here, we can see that runway, what was our weather? 354, so we will be taking off on runway 36, which is 356. So we will dial 356 into the heading, which is right about there, and then that'll give us an idea of which way the runway is. We will also tune in our. I think we're probably only going to get to sort of 1,000 feet, because by the time we get up, we're 10 nautical miles out. So I'll probably just fly everything manual anyway, but I will throw that in for now. So. Just to keep it sweet. All right, beautiful. The other thing that I will do is I will bring up the nav map here, because this actually is really cool, because it allows me to sort out my taxiing and stuff like that. So was it this airport? I'm pretty sure it was this airport that shows that it has 2 runways. I'm positive it was this airport. Let's have a look. No, it wasn't. I thought it was this airport that showed that it had a 36 left and a 36 right, when it doesn't, but it's not. Baby Cakes is doing fine. She's doing good. I haven't seen her for a little bit, so yeah. All right, lovely. So everything is set up. There we go. We should be okay. So we will just contact traffic now. I was not going to we'll go and select a runway for takeoff, which will be, see, it's saying 26 right and 26 left. Okay, so we will be doing runway 26, I think it is. I don't think it has a 26 right. Let's just reconfigure that. That's right, it was this runway. 256. What is that runway heading for 26? Doesn't say. That's EGDL. Not EG. EGBP. That's why. Oh, there we go. Just messing about there. G'day, Neary. How you doing? How are you this morning? It's nice to see you. It is very nice to see you. Alright, so we'll dial our heading into 260, which makes a little bit more sense, and we will announce our taxi.
Echo Golf Bravo Papa, traffic Cessna November 7681 Bravo is taxiing to runway 26.
Big smile. Where's Bullfrog? Where is Bullfrog? Alright, beautiful. So we should be okay there now. So that will be our right there. Feeding the dogs. Feeding the dogs. Lovely. Alright, so we will put on our nav lights. We will put on our taxi lights. And take that off. Now, flying in the US of A, I didn't have any real frame rate issues and stuff. I've moved over to England, and I am suffering a few frame rate issues every now and again. Strangely enough, pretty well everyone else that I've spoken to who fly flight sim actually have it the other way around. Flying around England, they don't have any frame rate issues or anything like that, and flying in the USA, they do. So strange, very, very strange. Although I could turn window scratches and everything off, which would probably help. So, all right, wasn't watching where I was going. Yeah, it is strange. But it is flight sim, so stranger things have happened. Alright, here we are on 2.6. Geez, they've run us pretty short on 2.6, haven't they? Let's just put that on. Let's bring our VREF up. And there is absolutely and utterly no way that... see, they're getting us to take off that way, which does not make any sense at all. Flight sim. Flight sim. Alright, we might actually take off on 08 then, if that's what they want. So, you are off to work in a sec, Neri? You're not too far from work? Alright, we'll go taxi, landing lights. Go one stage of flaps. We'll just check that and confirm. Yep, one stage of flaps. We will go mixture rich. Everything is set for takeoff. Everything should be alright. So we'll take the parking brake off and we'll taxi out there. You're working from home? Yay! That's always good. Working from home is always good. You know, the aircraft sounds in the background. It's hokey pokey and her whole flaps thing. Seriously. In an hour and a half. Oh, that's right, you got up extra early, didn't you? I'm just going to run down the end. We probably could have taken off from there. We will, for hokey pokey's sake, we will check and... Yep, flaps are down. One stage. It's not often we get hokey pokey. Yes, you did. It's not often we get hokey pokey on anymore, is it? I'm trying to convince her to start playing Subsistence, which she has sitting there. We only have, what's the date today? We only have, I think, two days or 3 days for before Medieval Dynasty comes out, which is pretty cool. I might just pop in to say flaps every now and again. Oh dear. All right, lovely. There we go. I'll just reset my view there, and everything is looking okay, so we are ready to go. Just double check the takeoff trim, mixture rich, all good. Just bring the throttle up to about 1800. Everything's looking good. It's moving into the green. So here we go. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it as well. I'm going to have to spend heaps and heaps of hours playing that now. Alright, we are rolling. I think our VREF was, our rotate was 55 knots with our current weight, but that sounds a little bit too much, so we will wait. There we go. Alright, beautiful.
Airborne time locked.
So we'll just trim for climbing out. Flaps up. I think it's going to be a good. I don't know whether it's going to be like an early access release or what, Neri. I'm not sure. And turn this down so that I don't feel like I'm yelling, because I kind of feel like I'm yelling. Alright, we'll just trim to climb out at about 80 knots. Don't you start. Your stepmother's bad enough. Gaily lame. Don't encourage her. I'll show you in a sec, Neri. Let me just get all this aircraft trimmed out, and I will show you what the flaps are. They're on an aircraft. I'm just going to set myself up here. It's going to reduce the throttle a little. There we go. Alright, so what I will do is I will engage the heading, and I'll engage the altitude, and I'll engage the autopilot. So I'll just bring that heading around a little. Whoa, don't do that to me. Good old zoom. There we go, perfect. Alright. Just get this stable, and then we are okay. Oh, don't do that. You use the scroll wheel to turn these knobs, but as soon as you get out of the hitbox for them, then the scroll wheel also scrolls in and out like that. So when the aircraft's bouncing around, it's a bit of a problem. So see those, see these little things here, just here, Neri. They're basically called flaps. So yes, she is my daughter, Neri. She is my beautiful daughter. So they're called flaps, and basically what they do is they fold down, and as you fold them down, then they generate more lift for the aircraft. So you've got your airflow coming over the top, and you've got your airflow coming underneath, and the airfoil and the profile of these wings means that you've got less pressure on top of the wing and more pressure on the bottom of the wing, because it's the way the air flows through the wing. When you put these flaps down, The air pressure, the airflow comes through here and hits the flaps and goes down, giving you a little bit more lift and allowing you to fly at a lesser speed. So proud and improper. Yeah, don't forget this is a PG one though. This is a PG stream. So that's basically what flaps do, and you can see this white line here. You can only deploy those. You can only deploy your flaps at a certain below a certain speed. So if you deploy them and the aircraft is moving too fast, like if I was to deploy them at the moment, then the possibility is that the air pressure on the flaps would be so great coming through here that it would actually cause damage to the wings and damage to the flaps. So you've got to be pretty careful of that. All right, we're only 5 nautical miles out from our destination now, which is EGDL, because it's only a very short hop. So we will go to our nearest airport list, EGDL. They have a tower, so we will request a full stop landing.
Linie Ham Tower, Cessna November 7681 Bravo 5 miles north to land. Cessna November 7681 Bravo Linie Ham Tower. Enter left downwind runway 6.
Left.
Altimeter 30.05 wind 09 at 14.
Left downwind, runway 06, no worries. Get rid of that. So what we'll do here is, that's our airport there. Left downwind for runway 06, which is running across. It's always so hard to see, isn't it?
Cessna 81 Bravo, did you copy?
Yeah, I should really respond to that, shouldn't I?
Fly left traffic runway 6 Cessna 81 Bravo.
I'm going to take the autopilot off. I'm going to start slowing the aircraft down now. And I'll keep hold of it, and we will change our course to... It was 06, wasn't it, that runway 6 that he had given us. So we will change our heading to 060 so that we know which way the runway's heading, which is that way, which is that runway there basically. So all right, beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a wide cross base leg. So you do know a lot about planes, don't you? So the idea for us now is, despite the fact that I was supposed to be flying a left base, I was concentrating on chat. So what I need to do now is I just need to bleed a little bit of speed off, and you can see that speed is coming down into the white zone there, Neary, and as soon as it hits the white zone, I can actually start putting flaps down. We have 3 stages of flaps on this aircraft. Okay, that's our landing clearance. We'll acknowledge that.
Cleared to land runway 6 Cessna 81 Bravo.
And I will go 2 stages of flaps here. And you'll see the aircraft slow down and try and balloon a little bit. So now I'm going to need to put some throttle in. We will do our base. You know lots and lots about aircraft, don't you, Bubba? Alright, so we are now on base.
500.
Probably a little bit low, which is unusual for me because I'm usually actually a little bit high, so we'll do a short base. Okay, I'm just going to put one more stage of flaps down.
500.
We're going to need to roll through on this, so I'll keep the speed up a little bit. Still not the shortest base that I've ever done. It's hokey pokey making all that noise in the background. Right, so I want to roll through probably to the end, so got a very slight 3 knot crosswind. I'm using real world weather at the moment, so this is what it's actually like over in this area. Alright, so I will reduce my throttle there, and that should give us a bit of roll through. There we go. Beautiful.
Landed at Echo Golf Delta Lima, Motley Ham.
Lovely, flaps up. We will lean that mixture off a little bit so that the aircraft doesn't get too hot. We'll just roll up to the taxiway.
Cessna 81 Bravo turn, next taxiway.
Sprouse Goose. I have. Yes, I'm trying to remember it, but yes, I have heard of it. Wooden plane. You know, Neri, when I had my home built cockpit, if you haven't watched the video that I've put up on the channel of that, of me doing a flight in it, when I had that.
Cessna 81 Bravo exit runway when able.
Yeah, no worries, we're doing it, dude.
Cessna 81 Bravo contact ground on 122.1. Going to 122.1 Cessna 81
All
Bravo.
right, we will stop just over the hold short line. Sorry,
Leningham ground, Cessna
I'll just
November
sort this out.
7681
Taxi.
Bravo taxi to parking. Cessna November 7681 Bravo taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Quebec Echo.
Right, we'll just acknowledge that. Yeah, but prior to that one, I had one when my daughter was very, very, very small. I had another one that I had built prior to building that one, and after her mum went to bed, she used to sneak out at night in the wee hours of the morning when I was sitting in my home built simulator flying, and she'd sneak out and sit in it with me for an hour or so, and then go back to bed. Oh, you got to walk in part of it. A lot of the aircraft, even some of the general aviation aircraft back in the 40s and 50s, used to actually still be made of wood. So yeah, it was. Her mum would go to bed, and it'd be about 12:30, 1 a.m. in the morning, and she'd wake up and she'd come out and she'd just sit in my cockpit because it was a two-seater, and we'd do some flights together. It would have been huge. Is that the big? Oh, how many engines did that have on it? It's quite a few, wasn't it? You have to post some pictures of it. You'll have to post some pictures of it. Like, I'll know it when I see it. I'll definitely know it when I see it. So, all right, we are going in here, so I am going to spin around here. All right, beautiful. Put our parking brake on now. This is the funny thing with this 8. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember it. So what we've got here, we've got that blue thing, which is our taxiway markings. I wish they'd fix that. Now, normally what you would do here is, once you get to this point, is you would turn your taxi and you would turn your nav, your taxi lights off, and you would turn your strobe off after you get off the runway, but I don't do that for this software, for this OnAir software, because otherwise it penalises you. I would also leave my beacon on before I shut the engine off, and it does expect you to leave that beacon on, but it believes that when you've turned this off like that, that it is actually on. So I don't know what their programming issue is. So, but normally you would leave your beacon on until you starve the engine.
End of flight.
And your prop was off.
OnAir company.
So there you go. So we'll shut that off. I hate how Flight Sim does that. We will also make sure that everything else is okay. Yep, that's okay. Aircraft is trimmed for takeoff for the next time. We'll turn the magnetos off. And turn the out and the battery off. Lovely. Perfect. 8 engines. Massive. We've got one sitting that's Kingsford Smith flew at the Adelaide airport. And when I used to work at the airport, I used to have to go in there and maintain it and maintain the building just as part of my maintenance. So, which was pretty cool. Okay, so flight registered, jobs finished, job finished, and job finished. So we should get nearly $800 combined for those jobs. So we'll just go back into here. There we go. So okay, so you can see we've got a comfort bonus obtained, which is all rules respected. All rules respected for the safety bonus. So we got 10% on that. An aircraft handling bonus as well. So, and you can see the actual aircraft. It does degrade the engine and stuff. So any aircraft that you purchase in this software does need to be maintained. So there you go. All right, so we'll click on OK there. Thank you. I will check it out. Let's go into our flight logs. We'll make sure that it actually logged that flight, which it did log those flights. Where is it? It was to EGDL, wasn't it? Which is this one here. So there should be, yep, it logged that flight. That's no worries. And we will go into our income statement, and we should have that extra money sitting here for that job. There we go. There's the 3 that we earned for that particular job. So that's good. So currently, if we go back into the dashboard. I'm going to have a look at that actually now, Neri. So we currently have 480,000 on us. What I'm doing is I'm planning on doing is I'm actually planning on Kleinster, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So what I am working on is I'm working on just building up enough cash to purchase another aircraft and to hire an employee. But as you can see, I've only done in flight logs. I haven't done, because I've only just started this, I've only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flights. And I think one of those was a non-paying flight. That's right, I remember that. I remember that aircraft. It's awesome, isn't it? Spruce Goose. Thought the airplane museum closed a few. McMinnville. Okay, well, it's got to be somewhere, doesn't it? All right, lovely. So what we will do now is we are going to look for any jobs that are at this current airport. Now we're trying to get back to Bournemouth, which is where we are, which is down here. That's our hub down there. So we're trying to head down that way. So I don't know what flights we have here. It would be really cool. I hope you are well tonight, Kleinster. Okay, so that's getting us pretty close, isn't it? That's EGHI. What is that? That's only 86 though. It's worth 1,040. It's not too bad. Wouldn't mind doing some passengers though. Some passengers would be alright. Business trip, can't take that. Why can't I take that? Details, tourists, because I already actually have, I'm pretty sure that I have unlocked passengers. No, I haven't unlocked passenger license yet. That's why. There you go. That will open it up a little bit. Let's refresh this. So let's go small trip to 500 pounds of cargo, 3 passengers, and query the logistics center now. See what's on here. I don't want. What do these mean? At least one job cannot be flown by an AI pilot. Well, there you go. Let's see. What's this? Actually, it has less. It's showing less jobs are because of that 50. Okay. What have we got? That. We've got nothing heading in our direction. G'day to Papa Ken. How you going? Cleaning the kitchen. Gaily Lame just finished cleaning the kitchen as well. Okay, so we will go. Let's go back to very short trip. Actually, let's have a look at what they've got. Medium size. A medium size flight might be all right. They will definitely pay quite well. Executive. Where's that going? See, there we go. This is why I wanted to fly here, because we can fly over to Europe and stuff, but we would have to do a stop for that. Distance 483 nautical miles. We should be able to do that. Now you're vacuuming. Where was all that when you were growing up? Goods transport right there. That's going over there. That's going over there as well. So we might stick to local stuff until such time as we get our second aircraft. So they're the responsibilities of having your own place, eh? Let's see. Let's zoom in. Oh. Managed to get some sleep to Papa Ken. So we want to head down here. I mean, that's not a bad paying job. $2,010, and it's a very, very short job. What else do we have? Do we have other passenger business trip? That's heading in the wrong direction for us. That's heading in the right direction. That's heading in the wrong direction. Right direction. It's going to Southampton. Got your standard 5 hours or so. Sweet. Sweet. Always cleaning. Always cleaning. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's not too bad, because there'll be quite a few jobs coming out of Southampton. So that is that this one here that we've got highlighted? It is. So that's the 86, but that's not worth that much, really, is it? What else have we got? 569 pounds of cargo. That's a double leg. We don't want that. We don't want any of these double legs unless there's one going to EGBP. EGHH, sorry. Which is not those. None of those. And none of those. You're at children don't help the cleaning situation. I bet you they don't either. I bet they don't. All right, so that looks like one of the... Well, that one there, that's 1,060. That's 163 pounds of cargo. So that could be good. That business trip, that's actually really good, that business trip. So I reckon we might take that one as our next flight. Ratty babies. Yes. I think don't you have rats, Neri, or your daughter? You kept them for years because I've seen photos of them. All right, let's take that one. That is it's only another very, very short hop, so that's pretty cool. We'll put that down on our whiteboard. We shall put it down on our whiteboard here. There we go. Lovely. Oh, not anymore, but you used to. So we're going EGDL to EGUO. EGUO, and that is 3 packs. This will be the first packs one that I've done, so yes, post a photo in the photo section of Discord, absolutely. I do. I keep a whiteboard of my flight information, so it's the best way to do it, especially when you get vectors and stuff when you start flying IFR and stuff. When the last one passed away, I decided not to keep rats anymore. Hurts too much when they, because they don't. How long do they last for? How long do rats last for? Not sure. All right, let's accept this job here. Yes, we will take that job there. Beautiful. 2 to 4 years. Okay. Let's have a look in. Let's have a look in. So we are going to EGUO. So let's have a look in EGUO and see what flights they have there. Months to 5 years. There you go. Is there anything worthwhile heading down heading south? That's, where does that take us? That takes us down to EGDI, which is one that I've already done a flight to. We really want to go to Bournemouth. Logistics query. What's a logistics query? That's strange. There's nothing there at the moment heading in the direction that we want to go, other than that goods transport one, which mightn't be too bad. But that's a 2-legged thing, so so you got to go in both directions. You can't just take. I've noticed you can't just take one of these. Not a single street light in sight. When it's night time, you should see all the street lights. Bullfrog, how you doing, mate? How are you? You get the dishes done? Hope you did. Hope you got the dishes done. All right, let's do this business trip and see what we can do from there. Let's go into the aircraft. We'll go over to here. Still got plenty of fuel. We will load those passengers on board. Gross weight, really? Surely not. Passengers aren't that. People aren't that heavy. People are like 190 pounds on average, aren't they? That's an average person, isn't it? You Americans would have to tell me that. And we've got one person in there that will be 190 pounds as well. Still overweight. We're going to have to dump some fuel, aren't we? Oh. I really don't like doing that. It's putting us on our limits. 170 nautical mile range. That's not too bad. You'll discard fuel and not get paid back for it. That sucks. Blame McDonald's. Mouse outliving a rat. That's pretty crazy. We kept all kinds of pets. I bought a mouse home to look after from school when I was in primary school. I bought it home to look after as an assignment, and it got eaten by my cat the first night. I got very upset when I woke up the next morning and there was just mouse blood everywhere and little bones, and that was it. So, stupid cat. Stupid cat. Let's just put it right on the limit there. Gross weight. Oh, this is going to be a good flight, this one. Get him a frog. You laughed at you laughed at my Is it a frog with a laser, Captain? Is it a frog with a laser? They're the better ones. Yeah, poor mouse. First night of looking after this mouse, and other kids from my class had looked after it previously. I think you took it home for like 2 or 3 nights or something, and I took it home, and the first night my cat got into the cage and ate it. Damn. Now I don't understand why this is saying 3 passengers, yet it's putting a passenger left and passenger right at 285 pounds. So, when it should actually have 3 passengers sitting in there. But anyway, so be it. That's not funny, Patchy. Alright, we're going to have to do that. Bugger, that's going to cost us money. Ready for full-on laser frog. Laser frog. So we're loading passengers. That's how long it takes to load the passengers. We are flying to EGUO, Cologne. Apron work is finished. Let's go to the flight tracking page. Gerbils. I can't help but think funny things about gerbils. Keep it PG. Alright guys, I'm going to go and make myself a quick cup of coffee. Whittle was a lovely mouse, ended up very fat. He was an albino boy, yeah. I will be back in a sec, guys. You keep chatting. I'm just going to go and make myself a coffee. You guys are seriously. How many times do I get banned? How many times do I get banned from my own stream? Sandwich with meat as bread. Lovely. Lovely. I couldn't go no carb. All right, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough takeoff because we're pretty well at our maximum payload. So there we go. We are tracking. So we're at our maximum payload. All right, beacon, strobe, master battery, alternator. I do keep it family friendly. What have I done? I haven't done anything. Let's turn that off. I'm innocent. I am innocent. All right, let's mixture rich. Put on the fuel pump. Give it a little bit of a prime.
And shut down the engines.
Not that we really need to because we have only just landed, so
System test okay.
I'm glad that it is okay. Beautiful. All I said was I've heard some funny things about gerbils, and I'm not going to say what they are. Are they? Oh my... They must be. They must be because I can't see them. They must be on the floor. Frogs. Right, lovely. It's going to reduce the mixture. Let that fire up. Tree frogs. There's no trees in the back though. There is no trees in the back. Apparently 285 pounds each. So it must have been big frogs. Alright, we are going to EGUO. So we'll put that in the EG U and O. Learn, that's it. Enter and activate. Lovely. So we'll be flying directly west. Mega frogs. To a Neary? Ban Neary. Ban Neary. Don't ban me. Are you insinuating that the captain does that? Might be. Drops the hammer on Neary. Yes, there you go. Lovely. All right, beautiful. We're just sitting here burning fuel. Request a taxi to depart west.
Leningham ground, Cessna November 7681 Bravo ready to taxi departure to the west. Cessna November 7681 Bravo taxi to and hold short of runway 6 using taxiway Delta Alpha cross runway 12 Alpha. Contact tower on 122.1 when ready.
Runway 6, which is the one that we just landed on, so that makes sense. Put a mega frog on a table and watch sales that one. You're a crack up, bullfrog. You are a crack up. Alright, so we have our taxi clearance, that's fine. We will be taxiing probably out that way, so I'm just gonna dodge this dodgy guy here. It's just I don't want to get into that conversation. The last thing I need is to get banned from my channel again. Alright, beautiful. Ah, goodness me. That's why you paid the big bucks. It's why you are paid the big bucks. Right, so what do we are taxiing to 06, aren't we? Right. 06 down here. You see they've got an inactive runway here as well. Clip that dude with a wing, absolutely. You know, the whole pushback thing in this is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. 12 simi dollars is the stream. You know, one day simi dollars are going to be a recognized currency. A recognized currency. Let's see. We're going to have to taxi down this this dead runway, basically, aren't we? I do believe. We could probably cross. Might actually cross here. I think we got no traffic coming. She'll cross there. That's the long way around. You went the long way around, guys. The next Bitcoin, exactly. They are the next Bitcoin. That's exactly right. Alright, this is quite a taxi, isn't it? Your laser bits. Ooh. Laser. Simi dollar to laser bits. Simi dollars are worth way more than laser bits. Way more. I think one simi bit's worth something like 0.0000000. I don't know. I don't know how exchange rates work. All I know is that PayPal rips me off something shocking on exchange rates. Something shocking. They tend to like to block your path. You can actually turn off in this. You can actually turn off all of the you can turn off the all of the airport traffic and stuff if you want to. Yeah, I know, but they do take a cut. So anytime, say somebody donated to my channel, they take a cut of the donation. Then if I want to transfer it to another account, then they if I want it transferred straight away, they take another cut. And then the exchange rate always seems to be in their favour, despite the current exchange rate. Like I exchanged at one point, I withdrew, I think like $50 American from an artwork that I sold, and the current exchange rate was where $1 American was worth 83 Australian cents or something, and of course PayPal, they did the currency or the exchange rate at 63 cents or something, which is not what the exchange rate was. So I was a little bit peeved off about that. Makua, how you going? 5% exchange rate fee. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Alright, yeah, it is ridiculous. It really is. So now, what I don't know on this OnAir software is whether or not if I use more than one stage of flaps, they will penalise me for it. But I do need to use more flaps because I am at maximum gross weight. So I am going to test that out and see if they actually penalise us for it. So yeah, I don't know how they work though, and how they work in relation to like Twitch donations and stuff. That's the only problem. How are you tonight, Makua?
Cessna November 7681 Bravo cleared for takeoff runway 6 west, departure approved.
Thank you very much.
Cleared for takeoff runway 6 Cessna 81 Bravo.
Alright, taxi lights off, landing lights on, mixture rich. We are going to go 2 stages of flaps because of our payload. G'day Kilo, how you doing? You got time for coffee? Nice. Currently flying in Latvia. 208. Yeah, I'm working towards. I think that's the next plane I'm going to get. A 208 to me makes so much sense. Makes the best sense in this because of the payload and its stall capabilities and stuff. So I have a cup of coffee too. Look. See? Yeah, so the 208 is what I'm going to aim for next. So, I mean, it takes a good amount of passengers and it also takes a good amount of cargo as well. So that's pretty cool. It definitely makes sense to have one of those in your fleet. You making good money from it? Alright, I'm taking off. We trimmed. We are trimmed for takeoff. Everything is okay. Off we go. Are you doing a long flight, Merker? I've got to adjust the sensitivity of this stuff. It's only a 3-knot crosswind. Picking up enough speed. There we go, beautiful.
Airborne time locked.
Nice. Okay, we'll go 1 stage of flaps up. Looks like we're climbing them quite well. Probably just started flying it 1 to 2 hours ago. What is fully loaded? Just with the pilot and the cargo.
Cessna 81 Bravo continue for west departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
Alright, beautiful. How was the end of your trip there, the rest of your trip, Keela? Was it good? No. No, they didn't.
Cessna 81 Bravo, did you hear my last transmission?
I should really respond to that.
Leningham Tower, Cessna November 7681 Bravo, continue for west departure.
So what he'll basically do now to Papa Ken is he will contact me when I get out of his control zone. So very windy, was it? Alright, so we'll head parallel to the runway that we took off on, which is that one right there. Oh. And then what we might do is might just do our heading bug, hit our heading and our altitude and turn our autopilot on. Sometimes the autopilot has a bit of a spastic on this. Here's one for Neri. There we go. Goat scream for you. Thanks for the redeem. I'm assuming that that's for Bullfrog. Yeah, it is. It is. Over.
1 Bravo, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
There we go. And that's leaving the airspace now to Papa Ken, so...
Ham Tower, Cessna November 7681 Bravo, frequency change.
But because we're only 10 nautical miles out, we are going to we will contact EGUO, which should be on our list here somewhere. It's not even showing on our list. Ah, there it is. So we'll tune to the traffic on that. We will be landing on runway 7, and we will be doing a full stop landing. The tent was. Does that mean you're not very good at putting tents up, Keela? Yeah, I've only just started hearing it as well, to Papa Ken actually, to be honest. So...
Caller traffic, Cessna November 7681 Bravo, 10 miles east, 2,800 feet inbound to land runway 7.
Okay, I'm just going to reduce our altitude. It does sometimes have a bit of a spastic. All right. What did he think? What did he think of it, Neri? Let's just get that one. I bet she wasn't. Oh, they do always once you get out of their zone, but sometimes they don't call you when you sometimes they don't actually call you when you're after you've taken off. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I did a that's our airport right there. So we will be landing on runway 06. So we're going to do I think we're going to do a right-hand circuit on that. I did an IFR flight the other night when I was training in an aircraft, and it really messed me up. It the air traffic control on IFR flights are horrible, absolutely horrible. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn to 240 right there. Just have a squiz over there. Just start slowing the aircraft down. That's our runway basically right there. He was asleep and sitting up. I don't know, what do you reckon to Papa Ken? Should I make her pay for it again? There we go. Matilda loved it. Ah, yes, those pebbles are awesome, aren't they? They do those over here as well. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Alright, so we're going to be landing over the top of hills here, which is going to be a very interesting landing considering our current payload. Screaming goats? Yes, screaming goats. My beautiful daughter got me that for Father's Day. Gaily lame. She got it for me for Father's Day. And look, Bullfrog, it comes with a goat manual. I know you can't see that. There we go. Screaming Goats, which has goat facts in it. Can't go past that. Payload in what sense, Lunax? Welcome to the stream, by the way. I know that I just took 3 passengers and and it overloaded my aircraft for 3 passengers in a Cessna 172, and I had to dump a pile of fuel to take the job. So I don't know. No, it last time we played a week ago. No, it seems to be all right. It seems to actually be okay now. So it's been fine for me. You do click that little checkbox, don't you, next to the cargo? Yeah, no, I haven't had any problems this time. I had problems. I kept having problems right up until the server crash. So, but no, we've done. I've done. I think this is my 4th flight that I've done today. I recorded a couple for YouTube, or a double leg for YouTube, and that wasn't too bad. And then I've done. This is the I think second or third flight that we've done tonight on this. So, and everything seems to have worked all right. So, all right, beautiful. Yes. Yeah, I have been seeing the weight from there. The only thing that it did mess up was I'm supposed to be taking 3 passengers on this trip, and it loaded 3 passengers, but it actually only put 2 passengers in the 2 back seats. So and it gave them both a weight of 285 pounds. So I don't know why that was. So they've certainly got a long way to go on it, haven't they, Lunax? Well, I would have thought they would have been 190 each, but they've put 2 passengers in. They loaded 3 passengers, and then they put 2 passengers in at 285 pounds each. So, which is actually a bit crazy. So, oh, those 2 ate the third. It's highly possible. It's highly possible. Anything can happen. Love it. All right. I was a little bit worried about this. This this hill in front of us, but it looks like it's probably going to be okay. So.
Collared traffic Cessna November 7681 Bravo is on final runway 7 to land.
Because of our weight, I'm just going to go a 3rd stage of flaps. So. 285 pounds. What's 285 pounds? I mean, excuse my ignorance, being an Aussie, but what's 280 pounds in kilograms? $129 kilos. See, that's pretty heavy, really. All right, wow, we're getting a little bit of a. Oh, look at that bouncing around.
500.
Corona diet. Possibly. All right, lovely. Now that windsock is showing completely different to what the. That's one of the things I hope they hurry up and figure out. I hope they sort out the. I hope they sort out the windsocks, and I hope they sort out the wind on the PFD as well.
Landed at Echo Golf Uniform Oscar, Collard.
Okay, I might roll down the end, so we'll put our flaps up. go. Should be okay. Coronavirus, mostly alcohol. Yeah, so what I'm basically talking about is this here never shows what the real world wind or what the wind actually is. So you'll get a completely different wind readout from air traffic control to what's on the primary flight display. So most of the time it's in the same direction, but sometimes it's but it's never the right knot. So like at the moment in here with live weather on, it's actually the winds are actually at 8.6 knots, and this is showing 2 knots, so it doesn't help. All right, no worries to Papa Ken. All right, we shall run in here. How long have you been doing on air for, Lunax? Well, this is a nice airport. I like this one. I like this one very much. Really should have done that. Also should announce clear of runway.
Caller in traffic Cessna November 76.
Too busy talking.
Clear of the runway.
Ah, yeah, okay. FSE just looks so outdated, though. I did the 7-day trial, and I had lots of errors and stuff like that. But I decided that I was going to roll with this one. So are they deeper? Are they deeper in FSE? This is very, very strange. This markings. I'm just going to park here. That'll do. All right. Oh, the economy is a joke in what sense? But doesn't it depend on what server you fly on, though? So. It's still not accepting registrations. It got absolutely hit. So you did FSE 3 weeks, you own 9 FBOs currently, and think about completely changing over to OnAir Thunder mode. Thunder mode is actually pretty difficult, isn't it, on OnAir? So, and you can't have AI pilots in Thunder. Same prices on Thunder. Yeah, okay. Can you have see what this is one of the things that I found out about this as well. It's just no AI, yeah. Okay. One of the things that I found that I've discovered about this as well is that if I don't turn the strobes and the beacon off now, and shut the engine down, it'll recognize me as shutting the engine down with my strobes and beacons off. So when it's in the on position, but when you're starting the aircraft up, when it's in the on position like it is, it registers that as being on. But for it to register as being on when you shut the engine down, you actually have to turn those off. So
Engine off time logged. End of flight. Register.
all right, there we go. The 30-48 rule. What's the 30-48 rule? Oh, don't do that to me. All right, there you go. Let's see whether it registered taking 3 passengers or not. So you can warp your cruise or whatever, but you can't go over 30 in-game hours. Oh, okay. So even transatlantic flights are manually possible. Oh, that's not too bad. Are they in this? Are they manually possible in this, or let me just go into there. Let's see if that actually registered as taking 3 passengers, because it said that the 3 passengers were loaded. Let's go in and have a look at our flight logs for once. Save and transact later flights for me. Let's see, to EGUO. 20-minute flight. Used 2 gallons of fuel. Lovely. Let's have a look. Completed jobs. Let's make sure that it's completed, because sometimes it doesn't. Business trip, 3 passengers. Yes, it is. It was completed. Excellent. Problem with SAs. Conflict of interest between older guys in control and the new. No development towards the future. It does have very active, yeah. OnAir does have very active, and if you're part of the Discord and stuff like that, it does have very active stuff on that as well. So they're not adding new airports to FSE, really. Never will. Well, there you go. You see. See, if they're not doing that, then yeah. Have you tried, or were you doing it in Thunder mode, Luna? Have you tried doing that, or? Let's have a look at our income statement for that. Make sure that we got paid for that. Passengers services, beautiful, lovely. Ah, yeah, okay. I mean, you could probably put your own restrictions on it, though, couldn't you? They do have a lot of balancing to do and stuff like that, most definitely. I think the tutorial and stuff doesn't give you a lot of confidence in what you're doing either. So you still do need to work a lot of stuff out. What, renting aircraft out, or? G'day to Papa Ken, welcome back, mate. Is that renting? Add some player-to-player competition. Can they? In what way? In what way? So if you had a fleet of aircraft that were just purely for rental, how can they screw you over? I think hard land and destroy the plane and you pay. Yeah, that makes sense. There needs to be some sort of algorithm in there that that makes sure that they do have to cover the cost of that. So for example, I mean, you have to put a deposit. If you rent a plane, you have to put a deposit on it here, don't you? So that deposit should be non-refundable if they land the plane too hard or anything like that. So yeah, make rent. You know what? I really think that I've got the reason why I ended up doing a 12-month subscription on it was because I'll do that in a sec, Kilo. The reason why I ended up doing my 12-month subscription on it and just biting the bullet was because I do think, with what I'm looking at on the Discord and all that type of stuff, I really do think that they are going to go somewhere with it. So, g'day Ginger Zone, how are you? It's just based on flight hours. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Welcome, Ginger Zone. Keylor, here's your goat stream that you have redeemed, mate. There we go. There's your little goat there, mate. Goat scream for you. Oh, camera doesn't want to focus on it. Little goat there. Bullfrog's probably laughing his head off. What does a crash cost you? Yeah, true. I am excellent, thank you. I am very, very well. New engine repairs a body, yeah. Back to work, all right, mate. No worries. That's all right for the goat kilo. Have a good one at work, mate. Have a good one at work. Most people are taking on air even halfway seriously wouldn't crash on purpose. No, that's exactly right, Caliber. The problem is that you have that no matter what you do, you tend to have you tend to have those people who are doing it and they're not overly serious about it. Is it, yeah, 40K? I haven't had to do one yet, so at the moment my let's go into my aircraft. Let's go into here and go into the workshop. An error occurred. There you go. These are some of the errors that I tend to be having a little bit as well. So details. So if I go into the aircraft details, so while you rent it for 150 an hour, so you get 1,500 deposit, and that 1,500 deposit is not enough for a crashed aeroplane. I think there should be something. Thanks to Papa Ken. Yeah, and the keyboard ones as well. The keyboard pilots as well. Because I did watch somebody try. I did watch somebody on YouTube flying this with the keyboard. It was hilarious. But he was being very serious about what he was doing, though. So 21 is that 21,000 for a new engine? Ah, here we go. Yeah. Let's see. Engine price 21,000. There we go. So, but is that an overhaul or is that a new engine? 100-hour checkup cost. That's not too bad. This is one thing, and I've asked on the Discord like about 5 times, and nobody will answer me. I'm flying in England, and all of the aircraft have American registrations. I wanted to know if there was a way to change the registration on the aircraft that you purchase, because there's no English, like the aircraft in different countries aren't registered to those countries. Keyboard would be so impossible, hey? So impossible. Duck over to my YouTube channel and have a look at my my cockpit that I've got a video up there in the flight sim playlist of my home built cockpit. So I don't know whether you can do an early one, can you? That's the 100-hour checkup. Annual checkup price 2,000, but I would assume that would be over the entire plane. Hours left. See, I've got 96 hours left before my 100-hour inspection. So good night. See you in the morning. G'day, Cass. How you doing? Welcome. Press maintenance on the left top. Up there. All right, lovely. You need to you destroy it, you need to replace it, yeah. Ah, okay, so you can do it here. You can do your inspection, you can do your repair here. Well, that's not too bad, is it? I mean, you probably wouldn't do your annual checkup and stuff. Now, does this take time? Like, for example, if I was to put this in for a repair, would I not be able to fly it for a certain amount of time? I'm guessing that I probably would. The Papa Ken said night, Hokey. Don't know whether she's left or not. Try to check, replace and get a quota. Repair or replace? Repair. Get a quotation. Okay, paperwork and handling 500, airframe repair 450, and markup and time 1 day. There you go. No, I didn't actually. Microsoft provided me with this for my YouTube channel, Cass. So they've kindly provided it for me, which was good. But yeah, 10 installation discs, absolutely. Rotation just shows the price. Yeah, I do. It is good. It is good when they provide you with keys for stuff like this so that you can bring it to the community. Yeah, so that's saying paperwork and handling 500. The paperwork is worth more than that. So pokes his beard, Hokey. I think she's gone to bed. What? But there is no point to repair till the plane refuses to start. Yeah, unless it refuses to start when you're at a place that doesn't have an FBO. Oh man, do you know, Ginger? Quite honestly, like I said, Microsoft provided me with this with a full version of this for my channel, for my YouTube channel, and I went to install, and I got provided it 2 days before it was released, and I thought, fantastic, I can get some videos done and stuff. It took me 39 hours to download it. They provided me with the full premium deluxe, like the full-on version, and it only installed the basic version, and I still can't install the full version because it just won't do it for some reason. And 39 hours it took me. 39 hours, which in all honesty is absolutely crazy for installing a game. If you asked Hokey Pokey, it was only 94 gig. It was 94 gig for the basic. Took you 15 for the cheap version because it crashed at 87% the first time. Wow. Hi, Caliber. Welcome. Wrote them a great review. Left it as not recommended. Yeah, that's it. Maybe you can hit them with the deadly pokey beam. Gotta love the deadly pokey beam. All right, beautiful. Sweet. So we're in a yeah. So that was a little bit stupid. 285. That's what is it? 570 pounds of people, and I had to dump fuel to take that job. So, which didn't make any sense to me. All right, lovely. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, admittedly they did. I think they have fixed it now, but it was pretty full on. Like for me to get this 2 days before release for my YouTube channel, so that I could give everybody previews of it a couple of days beforehand, and to start installing it as soon as I'd received the key from Microsoft, and to still be waiting for it to install after it had been released to the public was a bit of a shame. So I wasn't very happy about it, as you can probably imagine. Wasn't very happy about it at all. So yes, indeed. Zzz, from afar. Yeah. We're not very happy that Lana Banana hasn't been here, but she's here now. You're finally home. How you doing? You finally got home. Not happy about how long it took. Well, Lana, how long this took me to download and install Microsoft Flight Sim, because I was in the mod channel. I was in the mod channel on our Discord, just having a big whinge about it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think some people were downloading it faster than that. Yeah, it was. It was, Lana. I was not very happy about that at all. Let's see. I really need to head to. Look at that. There's a job that's going home. £604. Are you serious? EGYL as well. Lunax, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it very much. All right, no worries. No worries, mate. Hamster on Valium running the internet wheel. No, it was actually a problem with. It wasn't a problem with the internet. It was a problem with. It was a problem with Microsoft. Unfortunately. AGUO to EGYL, which is there, and then and then EGH back to EGYL. I don't really want to do that, so you love that mental image. That mental image is actually it should be the logo for the NBN, shouldn't it? Let's see. EGKS, that's sort of going in the opposite direction, isn't it? And EGDI. We could see what they have at EGDI. Oh no, that's a double one as well. So it's coming back to EGBP. Yeah, it's going in two opposite directions. That's one of the other things. Actually, guys, you might be able to tell me this for you on-air company manager people. When you get a job like this, you have to take. You don't have a choice. You can't just take one of those, can you? You have to do both jobs. If I was to click take on that, I would have to take both jobs, wouldn't I? Because I got stuck on it when I was doing tomorrow's YouTube video today. So, well, simply put, she's a brat. That is all. That's perfect. That is perfect. Yeah, you see, that really annoys me. Why can't I just take one job of printed magazines or one job of equipment pallets without having to go down here and then fly back here? Good time frame, so you could leave one there and grab it later. Yeah, I probably could, but you got to get yourself back to the airport though. That's the problem. So, yeah, he did a good job of that, didn't he, Lena? He did an awesome job of that. Absolutely. Yeah, so to fly here and then have to fly halfway back, I mean, that's not too bad, in all honesty. But when I got back there, that's when I wanted to hire an employee. Check now at that airport for a return job from EGYL. Yeah, okay, we'll check EGYL and see if it has a return to EGHH. So let's see, EGYL. Do that one. Do it at the time. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Let's see. Just single jobs back to Bournemouth. Well, that gets me relatively close. There's a lot of jobs coming out of here, isn't there? That's pretty close too. So I could probably accept that job as well, couldn't I? Let's see. That's the 474. That's worth more, but then again, 3 passengers again. What's the minimum smallest destination airport? Yeah, okay. Outstanding pay for weight per distance. Okay. So they're going to be heavy people. So that job I was looking at, that first job, brings me from where I am down to my hometown and then back out to EGYL. So when I get back to my hometown, then I could hire an employee, purchase another aeroplane, possibly even from here and fly my employee back with that cargo, couldn't I? G'day, Neri. Welcome back. Welcome back. So that might be a go. There we go. There's another job. That's 3 passengers as well. Is it? No, that's £40, which isn't really much, is it? But it's still covering the cost. A 10-minute nap, lovely. So that might be one worth taking. £40 there. Yeah, true. I'm going to take that. I'm going to accept that job there, which is £40 of cargo. There is another one up here that goes down to my home airport, which is, it was here somewhere. No. Perishable goods I'm not allowed to take, am I? So I could take, yeah, that's what I could do. I can fly back here, and then my employee can fly that one, and then head over there as well. That would be a good move. You're right, Ginger. Yep, that'll be perfect. There's a lot of cargo coming out of here. Farm airstrip. That'd be an interesting one to fly into, wouldn't it? Just a little farm airstrip. So there was nothing else there that flew us back. So pre-planning. Now, do you guys keep? Yeah, no worries, Captain. Have a good one, Bullfrog. You take care, mate. Gonna charge your laser. Yeah, good idea. You having internet problems again, Lena? He kept falling asleep sitting up. Redeemed a goat scream for Cass. Here we go. That is awesome. Goaty. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, send her some of your internets. You love it, Bullfrog. You love it, mate. There we go. All right, so we need to go back to current airport, which is EGUO. Here he is. Goaty McGoatface. All right, where's that job? Right there. Let's take that. Beautiful. Have you tried to download more guinea pigs in a bigger wheel? Do you have NBN there, Lana? Delete system 32. It just slows you down. Just delete Australian internet. All right, beautiful. So we've got a couple of pending jobs there. Got this job flying from where we are to EGL, and then that one going back up again. All right, perfect. Beautiful. Let's go into our aircraft now. Gonna have to see what we're at fuel-wise and cargo-wise for this flight. An error occurred. Send report. No, just don't want to. It's just sitting in here too long. All right, so we've got 470 pounds of cargo. We do need to. What's the fuel worth? 440 a gallon's not too bad. So I am gonna boost that up. What are we flying actually? It's only a short job, isn't it? So we probably don't need to. Yeah, no, we should be fine. Hold F4 to speed up the planes. No, 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 no. All right, confirm and go fly now. Let them load that cargo up. We are heading to EGYL, aren't we? Now I can't remember. Glebe Farm Airstrip, I'm pretty sure that we are. Printed, but yeah. Yeah, from to EGYL. Cool. 472 pounds. Everything's loading up. It's only 21 nautical miles, so it's lots of very, very short hops tonight. Lots of very short hops. Cargo is okay. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to go and make myself a quick cup of coffee. I'll be back, and then we'll do this flight. All right, beautiful. Have coffee now. How'd you go with the caramel syrup? Yeah, you got to be careful of that, Cass. You got to be crazy. Everybody send Ginger a coffee. Send Ginger a coffee. There we go. Thanks, Neri. Neri's already sent one. Tim's delivery. Really? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. There we go. There's 3 cups for you, Ginger. There's another 3 cups. Beautiful. Got as much coffee as you can possibly get now. Thanks to Papa Ken. All right, beautiful. Let's go to the flight tracking page and watch an error come up. Yeah, I make at least one cup of, when I'm streaming. I make at least 1 cup of coffee an hour. All of these guys can probably vouch for that. You know, have at least 1 cup of coffee an hour, I reckon. So, all right, flight tracking, lovely. Let's head back in here. Okay, let's see. He's still sitting there having a spastic. Goodness me. All right, lovely. Let's get this little beast fired up. Have to put the beacon and the strobe on, keep the program happy. Should be okay. It hasn't been long since we
Your flight will be
since we
monitored
fired
until
this
you land
up.
and shut down the engines.
Fly all night with these mugs. Yeah, you will be. You'll be flying all night. You'll be up for weeks. You got to make your investments back. Well, it's a good way to do it, isn't it? I reckon. It sounds a little bit of.
System test. Okay.
There we go. Beautiful. So we've got our cargo on board. Everything is tracking. That is fine. Let that system fire up. Flying all night is a good way to make your investments pay back. Do you know, Ginger, if when you've got employees, like when you hire pilots for your company, do they fly while you're offline? If you set them up with a whole pile of jobs, or? It wasn't broken. That worked anyway, didn't it, to Papa Ken? Grabs a hot cup of coffee. All right, so what are we doing? I think it's all persistent. Yeah, okay. We did do that. What am I doing? Just assign one and come back. Okay. This has got a mobile phone app, doesn't it?
Caller traffic Cessna November 760.
Oh, the first motor's broken.
Taxiing to runway 7.
Okay. Is it supposed to have 4, is it? It looks the same. Thanks for the cup of coffee. All right. So we're going to need to put in our direct 2. We are going to... oh, crap. Where are we going? We're going to EGYL. Just going to move that up a little bit. There we go. That's better. 3. Yeah. EGYL. G I L. Beautiful. Now I haven't flown into this airstrip. I don't know whether it's probably just going to be a grass strip, isn't it? Yeah, no, it shows on my screen it shows 3. So it shows 3 in the first one as well. All right, there you go. Beautiful. Let's set the altimeter. So we have 500 feet. All right, we're going to fly to 2,000 feet. Set the FLV to 80 knots. Get that set up, which will be perfect. And we will do our heading to 07, which is the runway we're taking off on. 070. There we go. Perfect. All right, beautiful. This guy's not going to be happy with me, I can tell you that. Let's put our taxi lights on so that the program doesn't get upset with us. Hopefully this doesn't automatically try and refuel us on our way around here, which is always possible. It's always possible. Okay, I might bring this up so that we can see where we are. We are right there. We are going to that runway there, so we do need to turn right here by the looks of it. Man, some of these taxiways are really bumpy. G'day, farmer. How you doing? No Man's Sky. No worries. Have fun, Cass. Thank you so much for popping by. Love to you. Enjoy No Man's Sky. Haven't played that for a very long time. Very long time. Here we go. Here's one of those dips there. Just take the prop out on the ground. I have noticed in this that their parking is very tight. Like, how close are your wings going to be to that? Really want to go wide. Congratulations, farmer. Congratulations, my friend. Very happy for you. Okay, there's no aircraft coming in there. No aircraft coming down there. We should be okay to cross. There we go. No worries, mate. Super happy about that. Super happy. All right. Now this isn't one of the shutdown runway. This isn't the shutdown runway, is it? Wouldn't surprise me. 2 hours for your pilot to get there, jumped in, and the plane was spawned in between two buildings. Oh, you are serious? For it to clip out. Did it have a lot of trouble clipping out, did it? She thought his tractor was sexy. It is a sexy tractor. It is a sexy tractor. You know, farm old tractors. No, I thought this runway was closed. That's because this isn't our runway. That's why. It is closed. Both was back and forth, took a while. Thought you'd lose your money. You know, one thing that I'm really glad about is that you don't actually bum out on you don't actually bum out on I reckon it is. I reckon this runway's closed. You don't actually like crash out on you know how you get the taxi lights sitting in the middle of the taxiways? Just with the spawning and everything. She likes your beard more than the tractor. Sounds like hokey. Sounds like hokey pokey. She loves a bit of a beard as well. Admittedly, you do have a pretty awesome beard, Farmer. You do have a very awesome beard, in fact, mate. Me getting my runways mixed up again. You didn't end up losing your money though, did you, Ginger? I think with what you've said, what you guys have said tonight, I don't think I'm going to do. I was thinking of doing a whole pile of rental aircraft, like a fleet of rental aircraft, but I don't think I'm going to after what you guys were saying. The man, the myth, the farmer. Ask him about his beard. We have it on good authority that it's sexy. Sexy beard. Farmer's a model, you know what I mean, and he shakes his little beard on the catwalk. You're flying it right now, but it would have been depressing for a few minutes. Would have been absolutely depressing. Being a renter, yeah, I think by the sounds of it, it's probably not really a viable thing, is it? So, all right, here we go. Taking off. We are departing south. So, this is going to be an interesting flight, actually.
Caller in traffic Cessna November 7681 Bravo taking off runway 19er departure to the south.
I didn't select runway 19er. I selected runway 6 for takeoff. So, I don't know why it's telling me that. Alright, landing lights, taxi. On stage of flaps, mixture is rich. Confirm flaps. Flaps are confirmed. Taxi out. Lovely. Reset our view, actually trimmed. Yep, trimmed for takeoff. Fuel's on both. Everything is looking good. It seems like she did. It seems like she did. It's going to roll out to the keys there, seeing as how we're technically still on taxiway here. I'm going to turn that off. A little bit of a rolling start. That's it, beautiful. Lovely.
Airborne time locked.
She kind of wants to take off itself, this thing. Let's... let that settle down. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I hate that with the autopilot changeover. It sucks a beauty. Now it wants to dip its nose when technically it really shouldn't. We use their strip. Yes. Yeah, true. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest. All right, we're 1,000 feet. We're going to turn out. Going to turn in and intercept our track. Now I reckon I do believe this airport is probably going to be pretty hard to find. So, what the hell is going on there? Slow yourself down a bit. Oh man, the autopilots on this, seriously, sometimes they just have little spasms. So we are only 20 nautical miles from the airport that we are going to, so that's not much at all. Alright, we're at almost at cruising altitude. And bring that down to about 2,300. I need to conserve fuel after having to dump fuel before. Everything's looking okay. Everything is okay there. Confirm that the flaps are up. Yes, they are. Lovely. Alright, we are good. Just settle in for the long haul. Papaken has some great commands and it takes him like 1 second to get them up. Brought you to the opposite strip facing backwards. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times as well. One time it took me right around the entire airport. Actually, that was when I was doing a YouTube video, and I usually cut my taxiing out. And on one of those episodes, it took me right around the entire airport to get to the threshold that I needed to be at, or the whole short point that I needed to be at. It's crazy. Alright, beautiful. Well, I feel like I'm not going to be flying this Cessna for very much longer, to be honest. 17 nautical miles. For some reason, it's actually working now. It's actually working now. My drone camera wasn't working earlier on today. The real talent behind this stream, yes, she is. She probably is, to be honest, Papa Ken. She probably is. They are. I actually cut it out anyway, but I do mention it when I'm finally at the hold short point, Ginger. Look at that. I mean, you know, initial bugs aside, and you've got to expect a pile of initial bugs when you first when they first release a game. Thank you, Farmer, for thank you, Farmer, for gifting a sub to Ginger. Welcome to the family, Ginger. You're stuck here now. Yeah, you got to expect those bugs, but when you think about it, you have a look at this. I mean, this is just absolutely magnificent, isn't it? I mean, look at it. It's incredible. One of us. Yes, that's it. It is beautiful. And you know what? From flying in real life, this is what it is like up there. This is exactly what it looks like when you're looking out of your aircraft window. It's just incredible what they've done. Yay, I'm glad you're here for a while, Ginger. Welcome, 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 seriously. It's a great community to be a part of. We've got some amazing people here. Those that have been here from day one, and those that those that haven't, that have been here a short time, there's some amazing people here. Let's go back into the cockpit because we are probably only, yeah, we're 13 nautical miles out, so yeah, except for yeah, except for watch out for that Papaken guy. Word on the street is he's a useless tool. Alright, this is going to be tough. This is actually going to be really, really tough finding this because it's going to be a grass airstrip, I'm sure of it. It's going to bring us into here. Yeah, but when I was flying in real life, this is so good. This is just so what it actually looks like. It's incredible. Oh yeah, that's a dead runway there. Dead runway, dead runway. That entire airport's a closed airport. I wonder what that airport is. That doesn't make any sense. That's EGIV. Ah, yes. They are awesome. They're all amazing people. All amazing people, Ginger. You'll never be in a safer place on the internet than here. Oh dear. All the ones that you guys have done for me, I appreciate every single one of them. Farmer to Papaken, Patchy. Although Patchy's disappeared, hasn't he? I don't know where he's gone. Alright. It is looking magnificent. This is because you're a smart man, de Papaken. What's that, a salt mine? Maybe a salt mine or something. Or a limestone. Oh, farmer, we can actually fly over and find your farm now. We're going to have to do that one night because because when we did it on the first night that I streamed this, I didn't have the satellite scenery on. So that's why we had trouble finding it. Too many birthdays. How dare people have birthdays? How dare people have birthdays? Alright, we should be getting pretty close. We are 7 nautical miles out. Looking for the airstrip. It's going to be a tough one to find. Real life go. Yes, my birthday is next. I was going to do a it's my birthday stream, but Hoki's asked me to have the night off. She has plans apparently, so I don't know what those plans are. Let's just have a quick look at our charts here and see what this airport looks like. Just so that we're aware, over the top of the water. So we go over the top of the river. And it's just going to be a strip. Alright, that's going to be interesting. The 20, yes. I did say happy birthday. Yeah, Halloween. We've got Halloween too. Yeah, because we're going to do a Halloween special on the channel, so still got to work out those details. It's in October. It is around the middle of October to Papa Ken. It's on a Saturday. Oh, and those bitcoins took off as well, Farmer. I'll have a belated birthday stream. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. A belated birthday stream, and then yeah, I've still got to work out the details for Halloween as well. You know, those 1,250 bitcoins, Farmer, I don't want to upset you, but man. Alright, beautiful. Just going to start slowing down because we are going to need to see what we are looking at here. Probably going to have to do a bit of a fly around as well, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because that's just the worst. Where is this farm? Is that it out there, or finding grass airstrips on this are pretty well impossible. And I'm pretty sure there won't be any procedures coming into it either. I know we could have all had a good PC for that. The 8th, is it? I'm 10 days later, my friend. We need to have a Papa Ken birthday stream. Alright, we should be right for a stage of flaps now. We have overflown. We have overflown our airport, which is very typical. This is what happens when I get caught in chat. Was it EGYL we were flying to? Yeah, it was EGYL. So it is somewhere out there. It's an airstrip somewhere out there. No, it's back there. Is that it there? You know, I reckon that's it right there. Well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Yeah, they are. Yes. You'll be drunk the whole weekend. I reckon that's it right there. I reckon that's the airstrip right there. What do you guys reckon? Yeah, it is. Definitely is. Let's just reduce our speed a little bit. Reduce our altitude a little bit, and I reckon the strip is that little bit of grass running along there. Yeah, that's definitely it there. Lovely. Alright, so we're going to come in from there. Beautiful. No, I reckon it was that. I reckon it was that one. Alright, I'm going to go another stage of flaps. Because it's got a little bit of, it's got just a touch of, there's a big circle there. it's got a touch of brown on it as well. So
Wind 90 at 4 knots.
this is what happens when you fly with the small airports turned on. That's it there. All right, this is going to be interesting. Landing at Farmer's Place. All right, we're going to go another full stage. So we've flaps down completely here. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Over the top of trees. Right, let's just stall this baby up.
Landing time locked. Landed at Echo Golf Yankee Lima. Leave farm airstrip.
There we go. Yes, it is. We got that right. That was a tough one to find, wasn't it? All right, beautiful. At least we have no taxiways on this one. We'll bring our flaps up. Yeah, this one would be, I would say this one would be private property. But it would be a registered airfield in the URSAs, I'd say, so. We need to find somewhere to park that's actually off the runway, don't we? I might spin it around here. You never know, you never know. Do you have, Ginger, do you have any trouble with AI traffic and stuff? Because I've got live traffic on. And as you can see, there's hardly any aircraft flying around England. All right, there you go. Let's put our parking brakes on. Just check that the flaps are up. Yep, flaps are up. That's good. Let's. Oh, we didn't have our nav lights on. I'm going to lose points for that. Now let's starve that.
Engine off time locked.
Live.
Flight. Registered in OnAir company.
I'm on live. I'll go into the settings in a minute. Let's see. Shut that down, turn that annoying little alarm off. Go, lovely. Data, battery. All right, sweet. Sweet, that's another job done. We are picking up cargo here and flying it from, to, yeah, we're flying it down to EGHH, so. Let's bring that down to here. And I got all my bonuses, that's okay. All right, it obviously didn't pick up those nav lights. So. Glebe Farm, I don't mind flying into there. That's pretty cool. All right, so what we should do now is we should be able to go back in here and do our flight to EGHH now. So let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely on live. Hundreds of planes leave your local airport. Yeah, yeah, exactly. When you're on live, you still see more players than you do AI planes. Yeah. We'll go back in and have a look at it in a sec. So let's see. We need to unload those. We unload those and we need to load those. Is that correct? Unload and load. Just one more. One more flight, which is probably about a 20-minute flight, I think, 25-minute flight. I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, okay, that should be okay. We are flying 133. We've got a range of 133 nautical miles, which should be good. Don't change. Oh, don't change that. Will it automatically unload that? Oh no, that's part of it, isn't it? That's right. All right, so you just leave that one up, and then you leave, and then you tick that one to load that 40 pounds. Yeah, okay. Cool. So the funny thing is, it's only showing cargo as 40 pounds here, which is interesting. All right. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, farmer. We will do a special one for you in celebration. We will get a special one for you in celebration. Why is that only showing that I've got... It's only showing that I've got 40 pounds of cargo. Let's just go into here for a sec. Have a look at... have a look at this. Oh, the other cargo has come off. Okay, so this is the one we're doing at the moment, isn't it? That's 40 cargo. What's this one? Oh, yeah, that one's the one that we're doing. So we've delivered those. Now we're doing that one. Okay. EGYL to EG. Why is it showing that twice? Interesting. All right, no, that's perfect. That's fine. Aircraft. Let's go back in there and prepare the aircraft. All right, so it did take the cargo off. So it's taken the cargo off and it's added the 40 pounds for our next leg. Excellent. That sounds good. And we are flying to EGHH. This is a nice little airstrip, actually. It's pretty nice flying into here, wasn't it? Pretty cool. Yes, farmer, we will do a bush plane one, a congratulations, and we will do a puddle jumper in Alaska for you. I will show you that when we're finished this flight. I'll go back in and I'll show you some of that stuff, and I'll show you what we'll do. So we're heading home to Bournemouth. Cargo is on board. Beautiful. Let's see how we go. It's only a short flight, very short flight. Right, start tracking. Beautiful. Just going to run that up there so I don't have to Alt Tab. Back into here. Sweet. All right, lovely. Listen to the creaks. Lovely. Beautiful. Park brakes on. Trim is set for takeoff. Mixture's rich. Don't need to do a fuel pump because we're already that far in. Beacon on. Strobe on. That's it. We shall start him up.
Will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Beautiful. So we've done 4 or 5 jobs tonight. That's pretty cool. We'll turn that on. We will turn that on.
TOS system test. Okay.
Excellent. That is good to know. That is good to know. Let's go direct to... we are going direct to EGHH. I'll give you a little bit of homework, farmer. I'll give you a little bit of homework, mate, before the next time we stream. But before the next time we stream Microsoft Flight Sim, work out where you want to fly to. Work out where you want to fly in Alaska, in a bush plane, and we will go and do it, my friend. We shall activate that. Is Niaz here now? Gailey? Did I just turn something? No, I'm pretty sure that I didn't. Alright, so we will be taking off and pretty well flying straight out by the looks of it. Alright, cool. G'day, mate. How you doing? Okay, altitude, we are going to fly to 2,500 feet on this one. I'm going to set that and we're going to climb out as usual at 80 knots. We don't have much cargo on board, so it's just us and 40 pounds of cargo, which should be okay. And we're going to set the heading bug as well. Alright, beautiful. I'm not going to use the radio because there's no point in using the radio for this one. But what I am going to do is I am going to taxi out, so let's put on our taxi and our nav lights, take our park brake off. Going to keep our mixture rich for now, coming out of here. Now when you're running down an old grass strip like this or a dirt strip, you've got to keep back pressure on the elevators. So on your yoke or your flight stick, to try and keep the prop off the ground. Yeah, do it, mate. Absolutely, farmer. That will be awesome. Do that and just get the two airports and where you were going to fly from, and we will fly that run for you. That sounds pretty good to me. A little bit of a farm road there, a little bit of a dirt farm track next to us. Stay off that for now. Alright, lovely. A little bit of left toe brake. Oh, that was a little bit violent, wasn't it? Right, we'll line ourselves up. So again, as you're rolling along this runway, you want to keep some pressure, some back pressure on your stick for exactly the same reason. We've only got 40 pounds of cargo, so we're only going to go one stage of flaps here, which will be no worries. Landing lights on, taxi lights off, mixture is rich, one stage of flaps is confirmed. We are trim for takeoff. We have enough fuel for our trip, most definitely. Everything is looking good. Alright, reset the view. And here we go. Alright. Takes a little bit more for it to take off here, obviously. For it to start rolling. Keep the back stick on. We don't even have an active airspeed at the moment, so just keep moving that down the runway. We do have... Up we go. We do have a
Airborne time locked.
we do have a an amphibious plane in this, farmer. So that's no worries. We can land on a lake and take off from a lake.
Stall.
Don't do that to me. Get up over these trees here. Come on. Wow. Sketchy ride. Sweet. I'm going to have to do that myself. The old turboprop. Let's sync our heading. Turn our autopilot on. Come on, don't do that autopilot. You can do it. There we go, let it settle. But you got it though. What's it like doing these certifications, Caliber? What's it like actually doing the certifications in this? Because I haven't done one yet, obviously, for obvious reasons. Alright, beautiful. I am going to throw the nav on now. This is going to turn the aircraft around a little bit by itself. We're going to climb out to 2,500 feet. It's easy if you know how to fly the plane. Did you do some practice in the, was that with the 208 or? The thing with the 208s and stuff is you're supposed to have your fuel pump on, aren't you, when you during takeoff and landing, because they're not gravity fed like a 172. You did the Caravan, sweet. So do you have to do that certification after you've purchased that aircraft? And you can settle out. We're 19.8 nautical miles away from home, which is Bournemouth. Oh, you can rent it and do it, okay. But you've got to actually have an aircraft for it though. I actually have to... Dude, what are you doing, autopilot? For goodness sakes. Here's another example of the autopilot going bunter. Even the flight director's saying that we shouldn't be this nose up. You need that type, oh yeah, cool. There we go. Now it's going to want to move down a little bit because it's overshot its mark. Sometimes the autopilot on these in this version, man, they just really crap me out. Okay, let's confirm flaps are up, landing lights are on, everything is okay there. We will not do that. We will be descending to 1,500 when we get to where we get going. Well, I'm probably going to have to do that in my next YouTube video then, Caliber, because we are flying back to my home base now, and that's where I plan on hopefully being able to get hold of this Caravan. So in the next video in the series, so I can't do it on stream because it needs to be recorded for YouTube. So I reckon I'll probably be doing that certification, so that'll be interesting. That will be interesting. Yeah, I need checklists to start up the Caravan. Alright, 16 nautical miles out. Let's go out and have a little bit of a look outside. The visibility, I've noticed in flying in the UK, the visibility reduces over time during the day. It always seems to reduce. You start off in the morning with pretty good visibility, and then you just turned everything you could on. I always use the checklist in that one. Doesn't ding you for anything under 42 degrees. Oh, I thought it was 35. So you can see the visibility's changed a bit. That's Hokie and I sitting in there. You hit 35 and past. Okay, cool. Actually, it would have been pretty nice, to be honest. It would have been pretty nice. It would have been pretty nice flying the caravan into that short field that we just did, wouldn't it? So that would have been pretty cool. Let's see, 12 nautical miles out. Yeah, I'm going to start prepping, so. So we'll do vertical speed. I think 300 will probably be alright. 300 feet a minute should be okay. Uh, 10.8 nautical miles. For those of you that don't know, I'm looking in here for our distance to our waypoint. So this gives you the information. So what's keyed in is EGHH, which is Bournemouth Airport. It is 10.3 nautical miles out at a bearing of 163. So I'm currently on GPS in the autopilot, and I'm reducing my altitude at minus 300 feet per minute. Cruising at 2,900 on AP, and ATC tells me you're 300 feet above your assigned altitude of 2,800 feet. You got your have you got your altimeter set correctly? Yeah, I really don't like the air traffic control in this. Alright, so we're going to request a full stop landing.
Bournemouth Tower, Cessna November 7681 Bravo is 900 miles north with Mike to land. Cessna November 7681 Bravo, Bournemouth Tower. Make left traffic runway 26. Altimeter tree 0.01, wind 282 at 12.
Left traffic. Runway 26.
Cessna 81 Bravo.
Left traffic, altimeter is set. We're going to do left traffic for runway 26, so we'll change this to 260, which we can actually check just by going into here. Runway 26 is at 256, so we'll adjust that to 256. There we go, beautiful. And we will be doing left traffic. So I've noticed sometimes the air traffic control gives you some really bizarre traffic. You know, like if you're on the opposite side of the runway, they might give you left traffic, and you got to cross the center of the runway to go into your left traffic pattern when you could have just done right traffic for that runway. But it has its nuances, I guess. Alright, beautiful. 580 pounds to 2,400 at 25. Yeah, I know. And the extra passengers as well, so you can do some more of those business trips with even more passengers. So I'm looking forward to getting into it, Calibre. Also at 2,900. I was flying this when I was when I was doing today's YouTube video to be released tomorrow, I was listening to air traffic control, and it's like, such and such aircraft, you are 20,000 feet above your assigned altitude. Like 20,000 feet. And if you have a look at, I think, episode number 2 of Simiair, I think it was number 2 of Simiair, then I'm coming in to land, and I get my clearance to land, and it's like, follow the aircraft on final, and I could see an aircraft sitting right up in the air over here, and I'm looking around, and I can't see any aircraft on final, and I'm sitting there thinking, and this aircraft looks like it's going around in circles, and it was like way up here. So I ended up turning, doing base leg and turning final, and I'm coming into land, and I'm, nearly at the threshold, and it's like, go around. Okay, no worries. So I go around. I'm coming down on my downwind leg again, and that aircraft that was up there is down about here now, and it's just circling, and then it starts going into the runway. So it's like, man, they've really messed it up a lot. They have really messed it up a lot. But they'll sort it out. There we go. There's our runway right there. Running across there. We are home. Alright, I am going to bring the throttle back, slow the aircraft down a bit. We'll do left base for that runway. Actually, they had said runway 26, didn't they? Which means we are... See, they've told me left base. I'm sure of it. Here we go. Here's an example. Make left traffic. Left traffic from when I was flying... Yeah, I think they did. So left traffic from when I was flying was that the runway is to the left of your aircraft. So left traffic here for runway 26 that they've given us clearance to means I've got to run over the center of the runway, which is across here, and fly left traffic. Because if I turn here and come in this way, then technically I'm flying right traffic. So... Alright, I'm going to go a stage of flaps anyway. So technically, if they want me to fly left traffic, I have to fly over the runway and then turn left after the runway. And that's the unusual thing. It's like, okay, alright, unless the pattern here at this airport, and I'll have to check the plates and stuff, but the pattern at this airport may be a left traffic pattern for this runway. So, in which case you're supposed to fly over the threshold, or like over the very center of the runway. If you do that, so I think they'll probably eventually sort it out, Ginger, though. So that is our that's our runway there that we are crossing right now. It's going to let the aircraft stabilize a little bit and start reducing. So that's the aircraft. Now you usually overfly. If you have to overfly, it depends on the airport plate, but on average it's usually overfly at about 1,500 feet, and once you get over there and turn downwind, then you would reduce your altitude to 1,000 feet. So oh yeah, you've got yes, you've got to be so careful of that, mate. You've got to be so careful of that. At some point I'm going to do a stream or a YouTube video that shows people how to use charts, how to use VFR charts, and to stay below those. Alright, I'm going to go another stage of flaps here, so we are 2 stages of flaps.
Cessna 81 Bravo cleared to land runway 26. Wind 282 at 12.
282 at 12.
Cleared to land runway 26 Cessna 81 Bravo.
Alright, lovely. So the rule of thumb normally is that you would fly past the runway on your downwind leg, like we are on at the moment. So this is downwind, that's base, that's final, and you would fly until the threshold of the runway is equal. You can see it out of the quarter panel of your aircraft there. That's usually the rule. Banned sim. Why am I banned? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
Wind 60 at 6 knots.
Thank you very much, On Air, for letting me know that. Gonna need to boost our power a little bit. Okay. Alright then, mate. That's fair enough. That is fair enough, my friend. Alright, we're probably a little bit too low now. We're at 500 feet. Oh no, we're alright. We're good. Been doing relatively short finals tonight, seriously. It's all about fuel efficiency. Obviously way too high now because I've got 4 white. There we go. 2 white, 2 red. That's on the glide slope. That'll change to 4 red in a sec because the closer you get. Let's just glide this in. And we are home.
Landing time locked.
Look at that. That was a
Landed at Echo
that
Golf
was a
Hotel.
very light kiss, that one. That was a very, very light kiss. Quite happy with that.
Cessna 81 Bravo turn, next taxiway.
Okay, we shall bring those flaps up. Ah, Neri, you're still there.
Cessna 81 Bravo
Lovely.
contact ground on 121.7.
We can do that.
121.7 Cessna 81 Bravo.
Landing lights off, taxi lights on. And we will request to parking.
Bournemouth ground, Cessna November 7681 Bravo taxi to parking. Cessna November 7681 Bravo taxi to general aviation parking by taxiway Echo Delta cross runway 26 Bravo.
Yeah, no worries. See, this is another thing that annoys me about this.
General aviation parking using taxiway Echo Delta cross runway 26 Bravo Cessna 81 Bravo.
You watched her do it. This is another thing that really annoys me because you would not get a bus running on a taxiway in an airport. You would not get a forklift on my episode that comes out tomorrow. There's a forklift on the taxiway as I go to turn off the runway. It's like, what? It was scary and fun. See, maybe she can't watch the stream. Maybe she's got no power for this, no internet for the stream because you and her are video chatting. That's probably why. It's the welcoming crew, yeah. Yeah. I worked at an airport for years, Ginger, and I ran around. I ran around taxiways and stuff, and I can guarantee you that they certainly don't allow that type of stuff. More like a slideshow. So sometimes that type of chat can be better as a slideshow. Why have they chosen to? What are they doing? What the? Did you see that? It's generous to slideshows. What are they doing? They're sending us through there, okay. Down the runway. Serious? This is when a 737 or an A320 comes into land. No worries, Pumpkin. Taxi across an active runway. This is the active runway. I just left this runway. This is the runway we landed on, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Taxiing down an active runway. Not that there's any traffic. As soon as I've done this, I'm going to go into the settings so that you can have a look at it, Ginger, and tell me what you reckon with my yeah, it is. It is the active runway. It's the one we just landed on. So what I need to remember is if I land on 26 at my home airport, I should exit the runway on the left because my parking's over on the left. So all right, let's turn around here. Such a long taxi trip. They made a bit of money tonight. Anyway, the first job that I did was worth 800 and something, I think. And then the passengers that I did, they were worth $2,500 or 2,200 or something. I think I got 22 or 2,300 I got for that. So what are you concentrating on, Ginger? Are you concentrating on cargo or passengers? See, we are now at the hold short point for runway 026, but oh no, it wasn't a hold short point. The line marking over there is different to the line marking here because that line marking actually shows the hold short point over here. Not that line marking, but this line marking here is actually a hold short point. So, see, and that's saying it's hold short point for runway 08 and 26. There you go. In we go here. Steering with the feet. Steering with the old feet. Takes such a lot to get used to. You're doing cargo, but you're saving to invest in a liner. What are you going to run passengers in? Like an A320 or something? I'm just going to do... probably small jets like the Cessna private jets, and run passengers everywhere in that stuff, I reckon, and Cessna caravans to do small jobs into small airports. And all right, in we go. He is happy with that. Let's put our park brake on. A320. I don't have as large, or I'd rather own like 5 Learjets or something. All right, there we go. That and that. Those shouldn't be off, but they are. And we shall star view.
Engine off, time logged. End of flight. Registered in OnAir company.
There we go. All right, lovely. So what I'll do there is I'll do that. I will go back to the main menu and you can have a look at these settings. Tell me what you think. Let's see. Okay, so flight registered. We are finally back home. Let's see. Yeah, aircraft stall. It didn't stall. It was right on the verge It was right on the verge. Look at that, minus 0.5%. That's big. All right, let's click on that. Oh, that takes such a chunk out of your reputation too. All right, beautiful. So there we go. Let's go into our income statement and see what we're at the moment. So passenger services 2010, cargo services, beautiful. That's good. All delivered. We're doing all right. Fuel $2.36. That's all I've spent on fuel so far. Landing and parking fees like crazy. Landing fees and parking fees. Look at that, 120 to park at EGDI. $120. That is crazy. What did we do to go into EGDI? I can't remember. All right, let's see. That's it. That's it on that. Cool. All right, so I'll show you Ginger. This is the first time I've stalled an aircraft in there, other than when I was testing the aircraft out and purposely doing stalls to see if I got spin or not. Let's go into the options there. Let's go into general. Small waterfall. The game can't read it properly, turns it into basically a little replica roller coaster. Yeah, I know. I've seen a few of those. Fly over the Panama Canal and see what that's like. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Moo cows, moo cows. We love moo cows. We love moo cows. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for following. Thank you very much for following. All right, traffic. Here we go. Show traffic nameplates. Is that only on the aircraft traffic type, real time online? So what other options are there? AI, offline, traffic off, real time online. Brett Nitch, how are you? Any more Deadliest Catch soon? Yes. No, not Deadliest Catch. Not until they do some major updates. But I'm actually looking at the old 2006 version. I think it was 2006 version of Deadliest Catch, Arctic something like that. What is it? Deadliest Catch something. See, yeah, I guess you would see it. See, so I've got that on real time, right? You have other players, they can crash into you, yeah. So real time online, choose whether to populate with AI traffic. Real time online, simulate real world traffic. This option requires a persistent internet connection. That's what I usually have, right? That's usually what I have. So that simulates real world traffic, but I never get any aircraft. Never get any aircraft. Brett Nitch, or Brett, is it Brett or Brett Nitch? Brett Nitch. Which one do you prefer and which one's correct? Brett, yeah, okay, cool. Sorry about that. Brett, I'm not sure whether it's in all honesty. Did you watch my final episode? I suffered so many problems on that, and I had so many restarts right over the. I think I did 20 episodes, and the 20th episode was the last one that I did on it. Doing more Deadliest Catch, and Fishing North Atlantic is coming out as well. So GTA, yeah, apparently, oh yeah, I guess with real time traffic, real time online traffic. But I've never, unless I use AI traffic, I've never been at an airport that's had an aircraft, that's had an aircraft land or had any traffic around it. Once I heard a Ryanair, a call to a Ryanair, and that was it. So only to episode 12. Keep watching, Brett. Keep watching because I just continued to suffer problems. So, and episode 20 was the last episode that I did. So, and that kind of explains a little bit of it. It's only like a 20-minute or a 15-minute episode or something. Oh, I'll test it out and we'll see. We'll see whether it is. I'll see what it does with that. I reckon, Ginger. How are you, GTA? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. You're flying flight sim. Are you flying? Are you also flying on air, or are you just flight sim, or are you doing FS economy? See, now this is the other thing that I was. This is the other thing that I was talking about is that Microsoft provided me this for the channel, and it was the full version. Yet I cannot get all of the aircraft, and I cannot get the deluxe version. So, despite the fact that the key they gave me, and despite the fact that Steam says that I have the full version. So, but this is what I reckon I'm going to go for, Ginger. I reckon I'm going to go there and do that, and run a fleet of these, I think, and a fleet of caravans for cargo. Currently doing OnAir Company, yeah, that's what we've been flying tonight. I'm quite enjoying it. I am quite enjoying it. Let's go into the world map. Let's go to where we are now, just double check this. Let's go into there. Let's go into the parking over here. No, we'll do that ramp parking there. Where's our GA parking? Ramps. Yep, just parking. Set that as our departure, and we will fly, and we'll see, because at 3:39 p.m. this should be okay, yeah, just can't get traffic for some reason. Can you get traffic? I can get traffic if I do AI traffic, but not if I do real-time traffic, GTA. But you see, when I go to the marketplace, it tells me that I have to purchase the whole thing. You get hundreds of planes. Yeah, I'm trying to work out then why. Maybe you can help me sort it out. So I've just set that and set show nameplates, and I've set it to real world as I normally do. So let's see what happens. It's taken a while, isn't it? It's taken a while to install. To all traffic, AI and real players. Okay, yeah, yep, all right. Yeah. I don't want to fly with real players, especially if I'm doing on air, for the reason stated above, because real players they will run into you. It's like some of them are, sometimes you're flying with very young people. Very young. Come on, hurry up and load. Hurry up and load. Right, let's go into here. So I reckon we're going to drone. Amak, how you doing? You've redeemed a goat scream just for you, mate. Goat scream. There's your little goatie. How are you tonight? All right, so here we go. Got labels set. We've got nothing, have we? No AI traffic anywhere. So you're on your way to a leak. Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. Just hang on. Can I hear? Oh no, that's probably that's actually probably airport traffic that I can hear. Yep, it's just ground traffic. Nori, Neary, all the same. It's all the same. See now, also I reckon we go back into the cockpit and we bring up that. Now it normally shows it on this as well, doesn't it? There's one, right? But that's one aircraft. It's not gonna show all these doing this. But that's one aircraft around this area. You can't tell me in England at the moment that there is only one aircraft. I mean, look, we're over near London now, aren't we? Getting over near London somewhere? Where's London? Right through here. See, now there's just absolutely no aircraft around at all. Check graphic settings, maybe. Well, this aircraft's actually coming in. It's actually coming in. All right, I'll do that. We'll go and check the graphic settings. Let's try that. So leave that there. I don't think you can do it in here while you're in here, can you? Oh yeah, you can. No, you can't. Yeah, graphics right there. So, let's see. I might have to go out of it, mightn't I? Where are we? Is it in here or do I need to go back into the main menu? Maybe you have to swipe a credit card to get better functions. Yep. That's probably correct too. Might have to be in the main menu or traffic. Go to traffic and scroll down. So aircraft type, real-time online. We don't have a density slider purely because it's set to real time. See now, airport life. I don't want to increase this because I mean, how many vehicles do you come across that are driving down a taxiway? Leisure boats, road vehicles, and ships and ferries. Then I can't see that. Now with real-time online traffic, you don't have any density sliders there, so. And show traffic nameplates, well, we didn't see any. Amac, 2 months, my friend. 2 months, thank you very much. New badge. Got a new badge there, buddy. Thank you so much for that. You just be careful out on that water leak. Don't let what happened to me happen. Weather settings. The weather settings. See, all my data settings, everything's on for that. Live weather, multiplayer on. Live real world traffic is on. I've got no limit on my data consumption. Let's see, unlimited bandwidth. So maybe disconnected from their network. I'm not disconnected from their network. Online. I thought Southeast Asia was normally the one that I get the best ping from. So I'm there. Like it'll read online, but it won't work. Okay, I have actually just turned OnAir off. I've actually just turned the option off on OnAir for it to change the time in the sim. Good night, Gaily Lane, baby girl. I'll speak to you hopefully tomorrow. Say good night to Niaz as well. Okay, if we go back to that and we go back to the main menu. Maybe I didn't set up maybe I didn't set that up properly when I set the flight up. Because it's a bit strange. He's in bed already. Oh, well, he's got to work as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, sweetie. It was great to have you here. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's go into here then. Let's set ourselves up there. Set as departure. Let's go into flight conditions. Live traffic is on. Live weather and time is on. So this is just all for multiplayer, so I don't have live players on. Yes, there is. I'll show you in a sec. Ban Simi. Oh, again. Oh. Actually, that counter's not working because it's 96 times every time you do it. It's yeah. De Papa Ken, sweetie De Papa Ken. Yeah, sorry, Amac. We are pretty well near the end of the stream anyway, so sorry you have to go to work, my friend. Okay, so we've got that. So we've got live air traffic, live weather. Yeah, but you see but I don't want other players. I just want live air traffic. I don't want multiplayer players. That's the thing, GTA. I don't want multiplayer players. I don't want to see other players. I don't want to be online with other players. That's all. See, it's not other players that I'm upset that I can't see. It's live traffic. Yeah. That's what I'm sort of trying to work out. So if we do that, right? 340 live time, live weather, live traffic, and we'll go back into that. While that is happening, I will go into here and I will show you global settings. Don't force time in sim, Ginger Zone. Right there. So, and I don't know why disable landing. Landing penalties should not be on. Don't force time in sim. No, I actually just want live traffic. I don't want AI. I just want live traffic. But you have to see, if I set it to all players, doesn't that show all multiplayer players? Because you're on Stratus. Okay. Yeah. I actually like that for the pure fact that for my YouTubing, when I'm filming in YouTubing, by having don't force time in sim on, then I can set the time to whatever time I want for the YouTube now. So, like the one that's being released tomorrow, I started off flying at 4:30 in the morning and ended up flying in the light as well. So, thanks GTA, thank you very much, and thank you very much for stopping by. We will get it sorted out. We will get it sorted out. No, because they're separate. They're separate options to Papaken. They're actually separate options, I think. So. One should give you live air traffic, so it should put planes where everything is live, and then the other one is actually just AI planes. So Microsoft predefined flight plans and all that type of stuff. So let's, for starters, let's just go in and have a look at the map. So now where I am now, there would be aircraft everywhere. Not hundreds. Oh, look, we've actually have aircraft now. You're crapping me. Look at that. Still not many though, when you consider. Oh yeah, look, there's aircraft everywhere now. I don't know what's going on there. There's no aircraft there. Oh, there's one. Okay. So it is starting to populate it now. Still not that many aircraft for around the UK, is it? But I don't know. It's working now. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a really close view. It's not super close, but see now there would be quite a few aircraft coming into here though. So, all right. Well, that shows that. Let's see if they actually have labels. Let's turn that off. Go into showcase. See, and this is what I mean. There would be aircraft everywhere here at this airport. There would be quite a lot of aircraft. So, and the problem is that if I do AI aircraft, then I suffer that thing that I was talking about, like an aircraft on final, but doing a circle descent from about 20,000 feet down to coming into the runway. So there you go. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It's beautiful though. It is beautiful. I'm so glad that that they finally have grass and stuff at the airports. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. And they've done it so well as well. And then they have these idiots. So you obviously can't have aircraft labels on, it's purely for players. Maybe I'll try flying multiplayer at some point, or online. There you go. Yeah, true. But at least, yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think when I've seen other YouTubers and streamers playing this, then they've got traffic turned off completely and they don't even use air traffic control. So there you go. All right, well that's going to be it. That is going to be it for tonight's stream. That's a good 3 hours and 50 minutes of stream time. No, it's no fun at all. No fun at all, but it's also no fun having to do 2 go-arounds when you're trying to land at an airport because an aircraft is descending from 20,000 feet right in front of the threshold. So maybe they limit it on purpose. Yeah, but what's the point in having live traffic if you're going to limit it? Old man needs to sleep. Absolutely. Old man needs to sleep. Alright, so welcome to everybody who is new on the channel. Thank you very much. I am heading to bed in, yes, I'm going to relax for probably 15 or 20 minutes and then get some sleep, so seeing as how it is Tuesday night. Good night, Neary. It was so lovely to have you and Bullfrog here. It was nice to see you again, Lana. Papa Ken, as always. Ginger, welcome to the family. GTA, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Old timer. That's me, old timer. You know, come 10 days after your birthday to Papa Ken and old timer full on 50. Farmer, thank you so much, mate. Congratulations again. We are so happy for you. All of us are. All right, I will see you all later. Hopefully see you again soon, Ginger, as well. Yep, the big 5-0 to Papa Ken. Yeah, I know. Yep, 50 years old. So when you see me after that, I'll be hobbling in here in a with a wheelchair on. Yeah, rub it in. Rub it in, my friend. To Papa Ken. To Papa Ken. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Discord. If not, I will see you on Thursday night when I stream again on Thursday night. Roll credits. I haven't got the credit roll thing set up again, or do I? I might do. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Love you all.